Welcome. Welcome to the program on ESG reporting with GRI and BRSR. Let me give you orientation session today, starting with a quick story establishing the fact that why accountability, responsibility, and transparency became important for the world of sustainability. But before we go there, let me also establish a case that climate action is climate change is a very prevalent topic and important for us to understand. Starting with that story, let me give you a story of El Nino, which is in news media nowadays very much. The horror of weather on the wave of Pacific Ocean has begun. El Nino is back. A season known to change history. It brought Spanish invader to the Inca, guiding them to new lands. Today, it sends warning to Earth, be alert. The World Meteorological Organization, WMO, has issued dire temperature is rising, and by 2027, global heat will peak and break all its records. The Paris Agreement of 2015 aimed to limit temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. But we are dangerously close to crossing this threshold very soon. If we exceed this limit, glaciers will melt, sea level will rise, and carbon emission will soar. El Nino's heat is pushing us towards this dangerous border, affecting weather pattern and civilization. In the midst of this crisis lies a Cancun, a modern tourist city with an ancient roots. Just a short flight from Miami, Cancun is a part of Yucatan Peninsula, once the heart of Maya civilization. This region is rich with history, stretches over 1,100 kilometers of Belize to Guatemala. Chichen Itza, the Maya city, housed the famous Kukulcan pyramid, a symbol for their advanced civilization. From 2500 BC to 900 AD, the Maya thrived with their own writing system, mathematics, and accurate calendars. They even tracked celestial movements to guide farming. The Maya were experts in architecture, agriculture, and water management. They built the city near sacred cenotes, using them to find underground water. The Maya believed water was sacred and offering it to the god like Kukulcan, a god of serpents. But despite their advancement, Maya civilization collapsed. Drought and water scarcity were the main causes. By 1987 AD, the Yucatan Peninsula has become a dry and barren land. The population grew, and to sustain themselves, they cleared forests for agriculture. But deforestation worsened the drought, and by 1000 AD, the civilizations had vanished. Today, El Nino intensifies and global temperature rise. We must reflect the lesson of the past. The Maya thrived through ingenuity, but their downfall came when they failed to manage resources. And El Nino accelerated that process much faster. Will we repeat their mistake is a question which we need to learn from our history. With that, I have just established a case that situations like El Nino along with GHG emission creates a scenario which is not making this planet livable any longer. Let me give you another case why ESG and sustainability took a center stage and people start talking about it. And the case which I'm going to talk is about the Exxon Valdez disaster, a wake-up call for corporate accountability. It was quite a night on 24th of March in 1989 when disaster struck. In the waters of coast of Alaska, the Exxon Valdez carrier, which is now I'm going to show you, a massive oil tanker was navigating Prince William Sound. At 12:04 a.m., the unthinkable happened. The tanker struck a reef, rupturing its hut and spilling estimated 11 million gallons of crude oil in the pristine waters. The spill was catastrophic. It is estimated 11 million gallon of crude oil spill in pristine water. It covered approximately 1,000 millions of coastline, devastating the marine life and wildlife. An entire ecosystem around. Thousands of sea otters, seals, and birds were killed. Fish population, including high-value herring, salmon, and cod, were decimated, affected both local wildlife and the livelihood of fishermen and Alaskans community. The long-term environmental damage was incalculable, and cleanup efforts were both ineffective and expensive. But what made the Exxon Valdez disaster so much more than just an environmental tragedy was the corporate response, or rather, lack of it. Exxon, one of the largest oil company in the world, was slow to respond and underplayed the severity of the situation and failed to adequately compensate victims. The company's action or inaction would forever change the way world view corporate responsibility, accountability, and environment. Corporate response, of course, was denial or delayed. The immediate aftermath of the spill was shockingly inadequate. Actually, Exxon Valdez executives were also criticized to take prompt action in containing the spill. Despite the existence of sophisticated spill response system, Exxon struggled with logistic of full escape cleanup, and the company reputation took massive hit to become clear that the emergency response system were insufficient, outdated, and ill-prepared for such a disaster. What followed a lengthy legal battle and over the environmental damage caused by the spill. Exxon was eventually ordered to pay 5 billion in punitive damages, though this was later reduced on appeal, but environmental destruction caused by this spill continued to haunt company legacy. The long-term effect of marine life and coastal ecosystem were felt for decades, and reputational damage for Exxon was irreparable. And here comes the emergence of sustainability and ESG. First, Exxon Valdez spills was a turning point in the history where both public and the businesses world understood the relationship between corporate action and environmental responsibility. Before the disaster and environmental concerns were seen as a secondary to profit, corporate responsibility was largely defined by financial performance alone. However, Exxon's lack of action during the spill, coupled with extensive damage caused to the environment, shifted the conversation toward more holistic view of corporate responsibility, one that included environmental, social, and governance. And that was the moment of reckoning and rise of sustainability report. This Exxon Valdez disaster acted as a catalyst for a broader movement demanding that companies should report on their environmental and social impact, not just their financial performance. The failure to prioritize the environment involved in disaster raised question about how much corporations really value sustainability and whether they were adequately prepared to risk related to environmental and social governance. In 1990s, as you are aware, based on this particular episode, uh, non-governmental organization called Serious Intelligence Institute from Boston has taken initiative to prepare a reporting framework so that corporates can follow a coherent and consistent reporting style and take responsibility, accountability, and transparency in their hands to report about their actions. And that's how GRI, Global Reporting Initiative, has come into existence. Of course, the rest of the history we will discuss in module one, when we will, module two, when we will start talking about key concepts and GRI fundamentals. But welcome to the session on ESG reporting with GRI and BRSR. Next 7 days, we have laid out for you, starting from tomorrow, module one, where we will try to cover the ESG fundamental, what is sustainability report, how people do such reporting, what makes it credible, and what's make it makes it a disaster for a company to get penalized for. Once that is complete, we will also look into 3 critical areas or concepts which underlies to the fundamental of ESG reporting. We will start with the first step in that is materiality assessment. We will look into materiality assessment and double materiality. Then we will go into part 2 of those 3 concepts, which talks about 3 P's, which starts with people, planet, and profit. And the last concept we will understand is 3 profit bottom lines, which are critical to understand in order to make a sustainable and sustainability report. Module 2, we will start day after tomorrow, where we will try to cover ESG Pro 5-step model for report writing, what you should avoid from start till the end of report writing, and what you should consider when you are writing a report, irrespective of which industry, which company, or which country you are reporting for. ESG Pro Mastery Institute 8-step model will cover exhaustive guideline, which will help you throughout your ESG reporting life cycle. Day 3, we will start with the fundamental of GRI fundamentals of GRI framework, which is Global Reporting Initiative Framework for Environmental, Social, and Governance Pillars Reporting, where we will start with looking into the universal standard, the 3 modules, which starts with universal standard. We will look into GRI 1 standards there, GRI 2 and 3, with examples or real-time case studies. How people are preparing, what exactly they cover there, and what they do not cover. We will go into second part, which is sector reporting. We will try to briefly touch upon it because it is only specific to certain industry which are highly polluting in nature or highly in their GHG emissions. And finally, we will look into topic standards, at least the critical one, and I will try to explain you with again some case studies that how you should approach certain topic standards while you are reporting your sustainability report. Finally, on day 4, it will be hands-on practice session day where we will together write a GRI framework-based ESG report, at least covering 3 sections or 3 topic standards of the GRI. Day 5 and day 6 also we will start with BRSR fundamental understanding where we will start with the history of BRR and then we will end to the BRSR code, what all has been prescribed and why. Why Indian government has specifically focused on these standards. Once that is covered, the day 6, we will start with practice session to write report based on business responsibility and sustainability reporting standards, which is prescribed by Security Exchange Board of India, SEBI. We will at least take 3 of the 9 principles and write it live together so that you get an idea how you would be approaching ESG reporting with BRSR standards. And finally, on day 7, we will cover important topic of how auditors on ESG audit such kind of assignments, which standard currently they are following, and what kind of expectation they carry when they look for the reports. We'll also see what to do and don'ts of the ESG reporting so that you do not get qualified when an auditor audits that report. We will also end up this session with talking about what you should do in next 6 months in order to get international recognitions of your work as well as certified from an international authority in the field of environmental, social, and governance initiative. With that, I'm ending my session now with a note that you continue to note that you come and see us tomorrow with this.